I've known Mig for about 15 years, but it wasn't until I worked with her on the Blackout project last year that I realised quite how much her life is structured around her bipolar 2 condition. She, like countless others, experienced extreme, debilitating lows every month. But she manages, she gets through, because she's got coping mechanisms and strategies and structures to keep her in place. But now, in this scary time of the coronavirus, she and countless others have had all those structures and strategies stripped away. Yesterday, she hit rock bottom. And this morning, she called me and asked me to help her talk about how she was feeling at this lowest point in her curve, in an attempt to reach out to a wider public and continue what she started, which is building solidarity and building understanding about people who suffer from this condition. At the beginning of our conversation, she wouldn't even turn her webcam on. So I started by asking her why.
Why don't you want the video?
Because I don't like people seeing me when I'm upset.
And why is that?
Because I don't think people want to see it, and I don't like to be seen to be vulnerable.
Okay, so why have you asked me to do this now?
Because nobody ever does it. Because it is, isn't it? It's what society tells us. We frown upon people that aren't strong.
Well, a lot of people would obviously disagree with that. Why do you feel that society frowns on you?
I don't think they frown on me when they see me all positive and constructive and productive. They would probably frown on me if they saw me like this.
Why do you think that is?
Because it's not what people want to see. And actually, in reality, there isn't anything anyone can do about it.
Apart from you.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling at the moment?
Horrible. I know it's irrational, but horrible is not even close to the right word to describe it. And completely debilitating. And it's like it just, I don't know, it just consumes you. It's beyond. If you take the worst feeling that you've ever had and then just go, I don't know, 6 or 7 floors lower than it. I literally I would elect right now just to go to sleep and not wake up. It's that painful.
So talk me through from when you woke up this morning, just kind of where your head was, what you were feeling, anything really to this point, which is about midday, just
I
gone.
always try and start a new day afresh. So I'll generally, and because I've got a 2-year-old, I'll always get up. Which isn't, it's a given when you've got a 2-year-old. And you sort of start out really hopeful because it's the start of a new day or whatever, and then, but the trouble is you can't hide from it really. You hope that maybe it's gone that morning or whatever, but it hasn't, so I've ended up back in bed. And of course, right now there's no real motivation, or there's nowhere to go, or nothing to do, or so of course all the things that I used to, today would have been park run day. I could have maybe gone and done park run. Part of park run is a bushy park I run with like 1,500 people. I'm not being told that I can't go out to run, but like, I don't know, maybe it is this situation. The trouble is that whether this COVID-19 thing was here or not, this is still what I deal with all the time. So it makes no difference whether there's a pandemic or not. It's just harder when there's a pandemic.
Yeah, because it's change, isn't it? I mean, you get comfortable, if that's the right word, in your coping strategies that you normally use, and now all of that's kind of been thrown out the window. So it's an extra layer, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just having to, I don't know. Like, it's difficult. Work is a real big thing for me. Like, if I'd got up and gone into the office or something, or I think it would quickly snap me out of this. But it's hard to snap out of it when you're not. I don't know. I've got plenty I can be getting on with, but unfortunately, it's very hard to do it when your head is in this place. So just be brave and show you my video.
It's up to you. What are you actually feeling? I mean, you've got headaches and things you've had. I mean, laying in that bed now, covered in that duvet, what are you feeling? I mean, you're doing this. This is a positive thing. But what are you feeling?
But nothing. I just can't begin to tell you how it's just nothing. It just real hopelessness. They're just taking Chloe up on the island, and it's helpful when it's quiet. It's hard to explain that. It's like noise doesn't help. Like, all noises become like 10 times noisier than they normally are. They're almost distorted. You know, I probably won't spend all day in bed, but I could. I could. But to get up and go onto the island and just pretend that everything's okay is going to be really tough. But I'll do it.
What do you want to do? I mean, if you could kind of wave your magic wand, as it were.
You don't want to know what I want to do.
Well, aside from that, what?
Right now, I want to go to sleep and not wake up. It's painful and it's horrible and I hate it. Maybe it's my excuse to get up. I don't know what causes it, but and the only way that I've ever been able to articulate it is to say that the lights have gone out inside my head. You know, I can't see any positivity at all. I can't, you know, one of my biggest frustrations, my husband was saying that Boris Johnson's been on social media saying that it's going to be a really sunny weekend and none of us should go out. But I don't really want to go out, so it's all right. For me, I'm in that place where it's about trying not to be self-isolated as best I can, you know. Yesterday was the first day I didn't go out for a run. All I managed to do was walk over to the lock. And very little can penetrate it. Like, I can't. Like, if anyone actually knows me, I like being busy and I like doing stuff, but right now I can't do anything. I can't cope. If I got up, I wouldn't. If I didn't live with Burge, I probably wouldn't eat very much. I probably wouldn't drink very much. You just don't do anything. Like, if I wasn't presented with food, I probably wouldn't eat. Or if I did, it would just be whatever could go into my gob the quickest. So it wouldn't be anything of any kind of nutritional value at all. I love coffee. I normally have loads of coffee, but I can't be bothered with that. So things that you normally enjoy just aren't things that you. The lights have gone out. There isn't anything there anymore.
And what about the way forward? I mean, you say you'd rather, you know, go to sleep, not wake up. But is there a way forward? Do you care?
Yeah, I do. I do care because I don't. I'm such a stubborn cow. I don't like to be defeated. I didn't get. I'm 40 this year. I didn't get this far by being defeated by it. It's just, I don't know. It's just hard. It's just horrible and it's hard. And of course, the focus at the moment is on something completely different. So nobody really cares about us sat indoors miserable. That's not really the focus at the moment, is it? Social media is not a place for this, is it? It's a place for what airport you're at and where you're flying to and how brilliant your amazing meal is that you made from some cookbook.
I mean, you've, over the last week or so, you've tried to, you know, connect with people. You've done social media sort of forums and put out posts and things like that. Has that helped or hindered or precipitated this? I mean, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I just wanted people to remember people that suffer with this during all of this, I guess. It did help. And talking does help. I mean, I've been talking to you and I've gone from not having a video on to getting up from the duvet. Maybe I'll go in the living room in a minute. I don't know. I know it helps. It's really hard though to do. It's like really hard. It's so hard to do. I think for me, I forever live in fear that there's a day that I can't get over it. So with this particular episode, I'm scared that the parameters have changed so much that I don't know how I'm going to get out of it. You know, I can't go to park run. I can't go to work. I've got to work, but I've got to work with my daughter around, which is really hard. Because that's the noise thing that I was telling you about. I can't cope very well with the noise. So the parameters have all changed, and I'm nervous that those parameters mean that I maybe can't get out of this one. This is the longest period of crisis I've been in for about a few years, really, because I had coping mechanisms in place. So it always really scares me. Like this will be like day 3 or 4 of me feeling like this. Normally I'd only ever lose a couple of days, so it's quite scary to be into like a 3rd or 4th day every day when I get up and I think, oh God, I'm not gonna manage to get through. I'm not gonna defeat it. There's no half measures with it. It's not like there isn't any half measures with it. Every time you go into a manic low, it is like the end of the world. Like it'd be lovely if there were some periods where it wasn't so low, but it just isn't. It doesn't grace you with that kind of thing. So I don't want to go back to that place where I'm just. It's hard work. It's exhausting. it's like your brain's having a battle, some sort of internal battle with itself. And you're racked with guilt because I should be getting up. There are positives that you can make from this. You know, I should be doing stuff with Chloe, and I should. It is a nice day, and I should be out with my family doing something. And why do I feel like this?
But you know, that's it. You've used the word should be about 20 times in this conversation. You know, that's all. How much do you think that expectation plays into this?
Right, well, my question for you is, what expectation would you make of someone that just laid in bed all day?
That's a fair point.
You'd have no, you know, the perception of people like us that just stay in bed and can't get up is that we're lazy or
But,
unmotivated, or you know, and
but yeah,
that's
but that's not you though, is it? I mean, that's the thing. That's not you. I mean, yes, you now during an episode you are, but you're the most energetic, focused, determined. You put most people to shame, and I would argue that a lot of people in your situation are probably the same.
well, that's kind of why I wanted to do this, to show you that you only ever see the side of me that's happy, and whatever else, but it's just not. It's just not the case.
You know, half the problem seems to be that, and the reason why people suffer with things like this in silence is because most people don't know that you're going through this shit, which of course is what this is all about.
Who'd want to, though? Let's be fair. Be fair.
Who'd want what?
Like, we're all incredibly busy with our own lives, and we've all got our own worries. You know, I don't expect to wake up and for anybody to magically fix this for me. I don't, you know. I know that it's my burden to bear, and it's something that I have to be strong enough to tackle.
But that shouldn't be the case, should it? Shouldn't be just you. I mean, we're talking about you, but we're talking about a lot of other people as well. You know, this sense of being on your own or having to deal with this on your own. And having to pretend that you're okay when you're not, clearly not okay.
Well, I guess I'm lucky. Everyone knows I've got bipolar disorder now, but I've never been this honest before.
So, what are you going to do now?
If I don't get up now, I won't. The thing is, I know that I've dipped below a curve, and all of the things that I harp on about as things that you should do, they might as well just be on top of Mount Everest at the moment. So I say, oh, you know, you should talk to someone, but that's hard. You should go for a run. I like running. You might as well be asking me to run a marathon right now. It just feels next to impossible to do it, and the last 2 runs that I achieved this week were just horrible. They were just the most horrific things to try and start.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
half the problem seems to be you have incredibly high expectations of yourself. in all aspects, not just you know, when you're in this situation, but you know, if you don't run 5K, that's a failure.
No, it's not. I don't. My expectations low. If I was chuffed that I walked to the lock yesterday. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
You feel like this. It's an achievement to have a shower. So I am aware that the goalposts change somewhat. I do know that.
Do you think you overcompensate though when you are out of this hole?
Massively, yeah. I'm so, as part of the hypermania for me, imagine feeling like this, just so bereft. It's like so low that you just want to go to sleep and not wake up. And then for that cloud to lift and go away, even without having bipolar 1 mania, that's going to feel euphoric. If you take the cloud and the feeling, like if I imposed this impending doom on you of not wanting to wake up, you today not wanting to wake up, and then I took it away from you tomorrow, you'd wake up and suddenly the sunshine would be a nice inviting place, and you know, the laptop and all the different opportunities of work would feel really exciting to work on again. So yeah, that's bipolar. That's, you know, that's the joy of bipolar disorder, isn't it?
You've been a great communicator. So what can you say? What would you say?
You need to catch me in a better day. I don't think I've got anything.
No, but you know, this is we've got plenty of footage of you in better days talking about coping strategies and things like that. I'm interested in you in this hole.
Well, okay, let's talk about this. So, one of the biggest strap lines for mental health is it's okay to not be okay. People go on about how it's okay to not be okay, and they mention it, and I hate it. I literally hate that, because it isn't okay to not be okay. It's rubbish to not be okay. It's depressing, it's debilitating. There's nothing we can do about not being okay. I get the premise of the sentence. It's like, you know, don't feel bad about, I don't really know what that sentence is trying to say. Don't feel bad about not feeling okay. Well, it's very hard to not feel bad about not feeling okay, because you don't feel okay, you feel like crap. So I don't like that sentence. It's not okay to not be okay. It's rubbish. But yeah, I guess what you're trying to say is don't beat yourself up if you're not feeling okay. But I guess what I'm trying to say is if you embrace the comfortableness of it too much, I would just get back in that bed and not get up. Never get up. And I could just lay there and not bother anymore. So that premise of it's okay to not be okay could be what's stopping people from trying. If you keep telling me it's okay to just, you know, if my husband keeps compensating for me and everyone keeps saying it's all right to just spend the day in bed and not do anything, and it's okay when that becomes 2 days and 3 days and 4 days, it's not okay, because you'll get comfortable and you'll never get up. You'll get really comfortable in that dark place. To live with this is a daily battle. I've always said that. You don't get respite from it. It makes you resilient, and it's tiring, and so I don't know. I don't know if there's a message in that.
Where are you now? I mean, compared to yesterday, are you in the same place? Are you in a different place? Because you've been going through this for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days. I can't remember when it happened.
Not that weekends make a blind bit of difference in where we are at the moment, but weekends are always tough for me because there's no real structure to a weekend like there is with a work day. Yesterday, in theory, I was off, but I had a meeting, and that meeting gave me some purpose. I'm pretty certain I was quite abrupt in the meeting, which is definitely a symbol of my mood. But I'm definitely worse today than I was yesterday, which is scary. And of course, today there's no expectation for me to do anything at all, which for me is not an easy. Sometimes it's easier to have something that you've got to do. But it wouldn't make any difference. Like if my brain is not in the right place to process stuff at the moment. I can't cope with washing up or washing or much. I feel like when I do things, I'm just like a robot.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I don't want to talk anymore though.
Okay. Shall we stop?